All right, all right. Welcome to the stream. We're about to get started. I got the heater behind me. Just had some food. Got the kids' toys behind me. We're about to get it. We're about to get it. Looks cute. Okay, okay, okay. I like it. I like it. Do not want to go against Zed. He can get out of my trap pretty easily. But today I am working on some stuff. I am working on these missions here. I am doing a boot camp through a guy called Nice on YouTube, and he streams on Facebook, I believe. And he's a pretty cool coach. I've been watching his videos for a few months now, and he's kind of hardcore, and I like it. But these missions are actually pretty freaking helpful. Oh, great. Who should I do here?
Let's light it up.
Yeah. Lexington Vigar, I think, wins. Wait, Anivia? I was not expecting that. That's a Vigar support. Great minds think alike. Well, hopefully he's actually good. We'll see. Because I'm not. I'm going to need to get carried. It's a horrible, horrible game with Lex last time I played her. Well, anyways, I want to show you guys this app. I'm always down to do it. What are you talking about, Aaron? Dude, I'm trying to get good, bro. Check this out. So there are these missions, and there's things that I need to focus on. So I can choose a main mission and a side mission. My side mission right now is having more vision and looking at the map. There's a why, but it goes into detail about a little bit more than just looking at the map. Oh, this is really loud in my ears. Wow. Just me or my frame's kind of.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
It's like buggy, isn't it?
Seconds until minions spawn.
Why is my FPS so bad right now? Don't need that. Anyways, Aaron. Nice has these little videos. Let me get over here first.
Minions have spawned.
On laning, like minion negotiation, and he goes into detail on what that means and what you're supposed to do. And then after the game, you grade yourself on how you did. So far, I don't think I'm doing pretty good. But the idea here.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
The idea here is for every minion that he wants to get, I punish him for it. I'm also trying to play without lock screen, and it's so disorienting.
Shine bright.
See that? I don't feel like I'm doing a good job there.
Have dark secrets. I have bright ones. We're in this together.
Should I do it to him?
Protect you.
Wowzers.
Lighting the way. Please, can I help if I apologize? Huh. Stay there.
Let's go.
Smile. You can be the light.
Come here, I dare you.
I want to see everything. The superior tactic is to never give up.
Come here.
An ally
Come
has
here.
been slain.
Pushing my limits.
No. Kill the minions. That is trash. Oh
The thing about light is, it never really does. Banish the shadows. Into battle with hearts aglow. Take courage in the light. Finish the fight.
An ally has been slain.
What? Should hit that. No way. How does he have so much health? I don't understand he has so much health.
Shine with me.
An ally has been slain.
If you hate magic, you're already blind.
What the heck is that?
Stay positive. Shine bright.
An enemy has been slain.
We can do this.
An ally has been slain.
Ooh, I've never been here before.
An ally has been slain. Enemy killing spree.
Everywhere I go, the light follows.
It's annoying. It's a dumb champ. Super dumb champ, yeah. Should I wait for it? No.
Shut down. Has been slain.
Get juked. Get juked. Try to follow up with those autos after, especially after he wastes stun. Save your Q when his passive pops so you don't lock him up. Auto E, auto G, save your W. Alright, gotta go. Peace out.
I don't have dark secrets. I have bright ones.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Rampage.
You can smile.
Enemy
Be the
killing
light.
spree. Enemy rampage. Turret plating will soon fall. An enemy has been slain.
Shine bright. Illuminate the enemy. Banish the shadows. Bye-bye! Pushing my limits.
That Nivea egg so annoying.
Your turret has been destroyed.
We all shine on. Like a diamond.
How is she not dead still?
An enemy has been slain.
Goodness gracious.
Into battle with hearts aglow.
Push this.
An ally has been slain.
Shine with me. Stay positive.
I ran right into that. I'm not losing this tower first.
An ally has been slain.
Losing is just an opportunity to shine even brighter.
Has been slain.
The light will guide you, even now. Keep believing.
Your turret has been destroyed.
The world has seen enough darkness.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain. Killing spree.
know how, but sure.
That's 3.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
The thing about light is, it never really dies.
Top, jungle, I see. Top.
Pushing my limits. Shine my light!
Your enemy has been slain.
Shine this Stay positive. Ooh, I've never been here before. Everywhere I go.
An enemy has been slain.
Top Cat. That was tough. So that's what you do at the end of every game is you rate yourself. I rated myself a 4-star because I felt like I traded pretty good at the sacrifice of my minions, but hey, it was good enough. All right, what's going to be next? What is this?
All right, guys. So in this section, this is Scuttle's Scuttle's stepfather, where we specialize in beating up Scuttles. Listen, this is a section about early game aggression and thinking about the game in terms of the first major objective, which is the Scuttle Crab. Now, Scuttle Crab is super important early. It is basically a mini dragon. People neglect it often in solo queue, from unranked all the way to like low diamond. People misplay around Scuttle Crabs a lot. I'm going to get you guys thinking about Scuttle Crabs in this section. And by the end of it, you're going to have a nice early game plan every single match. And it's going to kind of get you thinking about how to play around your jungler and how to play around those early waves. And we're going to do that by using footage from very, very high elo on NA, the absolute tip top of the server. So you're guaranteed to get some good insight here. And by the end of it, you'll understand the importance of contesting the Scuttle and why it matters. Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Let's make this my main. And this will be my side. All right, how?
All right, guys. So in order to understand the importance of Scuttle, you guys need to first kind of cleanse your brain of this, like, oh, this is a section that's only for junglers. This section's actually more for laners than it is for junglers. And the reason why is because a lot of laners actually don't think about the Scuttle Crab spawn like they're supposed to. And why did I make a whole section about this? Essentially what it is games are often decided early game, And a lot of our agency comes from things like level 2 all-ins, like early game all-ins, which I do talk about in another section, but also scuttle crab fights. Being willing to fight and contest for these early game opportunities is core in climbing and controlling your agency in a game. Sorry, brain lag. I've been grinding on these now. So the key that you guys need to realize is that it is our responsibility. If we can assist with scuttle, we should. So this is a rank 1 player right now in NA. He's a really talented support main. You may know who he is, and I'm not going to spoil. You guys can look him up.
Core JJ.
The guy is really good at support, super talented player, and is no freaking joke. Rank 1 for a reason. The reason why I'm showing him is because I like showing supports, and I like showing players that carry in more utility play styles. Yes, I do understand it's challenger, and you can get a little bit more value out of being utility. But what I really wanted to showcase here is how this player plays for scuttle. Now, before we do that, let's hop over onto the jungle here. So as a jungler, we have basically... We have a few options for gank routes, obviously, but there's one thing that remains certain. So if I'm a jungler and I start at blue, 1, 2, right? And then I can clear wolves here for 3, right? That will get me level 3, so that's my 3rd camp. So 1, 2, 3, and I could get a 3 camp on this side into a gank, or I could 1, 2, and then hop on over red for a 3 camp into a gank as a jungler. So, for sport, what do you think Evelyn's probably going to do in this situation? Evelyn is probably going to do either a variation of a full clear or a 5 camp into scuttle, depending on where she knows the enemy jungler starts, right? So, we know this, and we know that Evelyn's very likely to go to top side. All right, this is an important component on deciding whether or not we can contest scuttles. So this whole exercise is about contesting scuttles anyways, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fast forward here. And this is where I want you guys to pay very close attention. The early portion of your game, from now until 3:15, is one of the most pivotal moments in a game of League for all lanes. You need to be thinking about where your jungler is going to go. Your jungler does not play for you, you play for your jungler. This is a very important thing to remember. Any risk you take, if Aatrox decides to fight and full send Camille, or rather, Camille decides to fight and full send Aatrox early with Evelyn down here, and he gets cheesed for it, that's not the jungler's fault, right? We got to play to our jungler and imagine where he is, and at any point before we do a trade or a big play. So here, Rel is playing very... Camille decides to fight and full send Aatrox early with anyways, right? So and we know that Evelyn's very likely to, depending on where she knows, 1, 2, and then hop on over red for a 3 camp into a gank as a jungler.
Okay.
So for sport, what do you think Evelyn's probably going to do in this situation? Evelyn is probably going to do either a variation of a full clear or a 5 camp into scuttle, depending on where she knows the enemy jungler starts, right? So we know this, and we know that Evelyn's very likely to go to top side. All right. This is an important component on deciding whether or not we can contest scuttles. So this whole exercise is about contesting scuttles anyways, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of fast forward here. And this is where I want you guys to pay very close attention. The early portion of your game, from now until 3:15, is one of the most pivotal moments in a game of League for all lanes. You need to be thinking about where your jungler is going to go. Your jungler does not play for you, you play for your jungler. This is a very important thing to remember. Any risk you take, if Aatrox decides to fight and full send Camille, or rather, Camille decides to fight and full send Aatrox early with Evelyn down here, and he gets cheesed for it, that's not the jungler's fault, right? We got to play to our jungler and imagine where he is, and at any point before we do a trade or a big play. So here, Rel is playing very aggressively early game, using the really strong early game of Rel to take up a lot of space in lane. Now, what I want you guys to watch is how not only does our bot lane here play for scuttle and high elo, pretty much everybody plays for these scuttles and high elo. So we're gonna see it right here. And I just pulled this up at random. And this is how you know that these guys have good fundamentals, because I can pick any replay in high elo, and I know for a fact that these guys are going to do exactly what I expect them to, which is play around the early game scuttles. So what you're going to see, Rel's likely going to go up and ward. because she thinks that she could get full clear ganked by Lilia. That's the only route that Lilia can gank from, right? There's other talks about wars in this boot camp, but this is the only route that that Rel's particularly afraid of. There's no lantern in play or anything, so she's just warding for Rel, or warding for Lilia right away. And now 3 minutes is up. Haven't seen anybody on Scuttle yet. They're getting the wave under. Bam. It is now 3:18. Lily is there, just finishing Gromp. Evelyn's here, just finishing Golems, not Gromp. Lily finishes Golems. Evelyn finishes Golems. Both junglers are now going for Scuttle. Now, this is why it is super important to play for the Scuttles, guys. And this is what I want you going into your games and thinking about. Listen, I know there's more to the game than an early game fight on Scuttle Crab. I know that a whole section, you know, the rest of your match is not going to revolve around Scuttle Crabs. There are obviously Scuttles after the first one, but the reason that I'm going over this, guys, is because a lot of people aren't paying attention to them. They're not warding or planning around them. So here, Scuttle is spawning. Assessment happens. You can see what happens here. Rel assesses. Rumble has prio. Says, you know what? I'm going to walk up here. Evelyn says, I can get this for free. Camille has prio top. So Evelyn's sitting pretty on her Scuttle. Kiana's pushed in. Tough matchup in Rumble. And prio is really owning blue team. And right off the bat, you can see that blue team is probably going to go on to be put in a very bad position. Rumble paths down. Lilia has to flash out. Flash is good. And guess what? Scuttle is taken. Actually, I don't even know if they take it. They might just pass it. Nope. They do take it completely. Now, look what happens from here on. Red team gets a combined 140, I believe it's 150 gold lead. They get all vision of River and all control of the early game. Evelyn does not have to worry about any lanes getting ganked, especially at this elo. There's no ganks that are going to come down. And now everybody's set to go. This game turns out to be a snowball. I swear I literally just pulled this game up at random, and sure enough, it happened. The Scuttles basically propelled the game early. Got 2 flashes, one on Trist, one on Lilia. And now red team's in total control. Blue team loses not only because they, I mean, the higher elo logic is blue team loses because they draft no prio in any lane. That's a big part in high elo, actually. But the other reason that blue team has a struggle here is because they don't secure anything early. They get nothing done. There's nothing happening in bot lane. Scuttles are just not accessible here. Scuttle is free to Evelyn. Evelyn doesn't get pressured early. And red team is going to go off to probably steamroll pretty hard, just off of pure scaling in this composition. So, what's the takeaway here? What do I want you guys to be thinking about? Well, the main thing that I want you guys to be thinking about is we need to start prepping our lane, or prepping our game for Scuttles every single time. So, after you go into your game, I want you playing for the Scuttles. You'll give yourself a 1-star if you just forget about it and you don't even think about it in your game, right? Be honest with yourself. First Scuttles specifically. Now, Scuttles spawn throughout the game, but the first ones are the double Scuttles, the top and bottom, are what I care about. These things give your team vision. They give your team XP and gold. They make it so your jungler gets closer to 6 faster. They make it so the enemy jungler can't gank you as easily and can't rotate between lanes as easily. 2 stars if you contest Scuttle wrongly, as in you just skip over a wave. Imagine if Tristana, so if I back up, I can show you guys an example of this. Imagine in this scenario, if Tristana and Alistar have to Scuttle right now to contest it. Not only would they probably get dunked on for doing so by Rumble and the level lead here, but they would just hard lose the Scuttle as a result. Would actually be a worst case scenario. Now, in the case of the boot camp, I actually wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that mistake just because you're thinking about the Scuttle. We can dial in why you shouldn't contest it there later, right? That would be a 2-star, even though it's probably more damaging if you if you make that mistake. A 3-star would be you contest Scuttle. You had the opportunity to win it, but came up short. So you get in a skirmish. It's a close fight. It makes sense wave management wise, but you just lose. That'd be a 3-star. You're trying to fight it. 4-star would be you win the first Scuttle. It's not really a clean fight, but you win the scuttle. You go for it. And 5 is you use Pinglish, which is another section here, to show a hunger to win scuttle. You aggressively contest for a scuttle, and hopefully the remaining scuttles that are available to you. That would be a 5-star. Now, I want to show you again how many pings are going on in this game. And when I talk about Pinglish, did you hear that? On the way, on the way, on the way. Did you see this? I want you guys to look at that chat. Every single player here deserves their challenger spot in my eyes, because scuttle is up, and they all communicate that they want to win it, and they have an opportunity to win it, so they go for it. All right, it doesn't have to be at 3:15 on the dot, but red team figures out that they have an opportunity to take the scuttle away for Lilia, and every single one of these guys ping this thing and drop in and take it. That's what I'm talking about when I say 5-star approach. They all 3 of them, I love this, by the way. I'm so happy that this was a replay that happened to be picked. They all show it. And this is why the fundamentals are good, is because you can see right here, these guys follow the rules. The Lilia gets punished. It's very tilting, by the way, when this happens, when you're jungling. Lilia gets punished. She has no choice, but she has to flash. Very depressing. They lose scuttle. And every single person on red team played their position properly. And as a result, they get the momentum and the advantage. All right? This is very important. Start practicing. Now you guys have seen it, and you can start implementing it into your games. Start warding for and thinking about how we can get that scuttle early game. And this is why it's super important to learn it for all roles and not just the jungle. All right? Let's get to it. All right, guys, so
Okay, warding.
All right, guys, it's time for the warding section. And yes, you will see a difference in your vision game after this section. I know that's so corny, but you guys need to know how to ward, period, point blank. You need to know how to ward. You need to know the value of good wards, and you need to know where to ward, no matter what the role that you're in, or what team, what side of the map you're on, whether you're blue side or red side. It really doesn't make a difference. You have to know where to ward. So we're going to go over that. By the end of this section, you will be a much smarter player in terms of vision control, where you should be warding in the early, middle, and late portions of the game. And this will take some practice too, because it is a very dynamic section. So stick around. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. This might be a little long, but I promise it's worth it. All right, let's do it. Okay, so it's time to go over warding. So, like I said, we need to cover all the different roles. We're gonna start. We're gonna do this in top down. Starting from blue side, we're gonna go red top. Starting from blue side, we're gonna go red top down. Feel free to relax. We're gonna go over a lot of stuff here. This is a very dynamic concept, okay? My goal is to get you guys at the very least thinking about why we ward and what the purpose is, so that you can go into your games and you can emulate these wards and you can understand what the point of the wards are. So, in order to understand what warding is about, you need to understand the general game's line of scrimmage. It's gonna be a tough concept to understand, so I'm gonna draw out some lines of scrimmage here for you so you can see. So, imagine a scenario where the minion wave is equal here. In this situation, we can assume that we are pushing forward. So I'm gonna give the indication that we're pushing forward. We are pushing forward. So, in order to ward when we are pushing towards, let me grab my nice drawing. If we are pushing forward in top lane, we need to think about who the enemy jungler is and how they can kill us in order to ward. All right? It's very simple. Ward so that you don't die as much. right? And also you're warding so your teammates don't die as much to dumb stuff, right? So in this scenario, you have multiple options. You can ward here. This is a standard ward. This will cover the angle of river. You can also ward here. This is another option, right? That's another decent option. The thing is, though, your teammates warding is a team activity, and I don't think enough players realize that. So, for example, a ward like this would be very, very good as a selfish ward, right? A selfish ward for river. The reason why I say it's good is like a selfish ward. It gives you that rush control that you're after. It also gives you information. So if I just did this, just so you can see. There. So a selfish ward like this will give you the information as you push forward. Right? It will give the information of whether or not you're being ganked from this angle. The problem is you won't have this information here. You won't know if somebody's gonna encroach on us and get behind us like a Hecarim or somebody. Certain junglers automatically kill us if we're standing too close to the wave, right? A ward doesn't necessarily protect you from certain inevitabilities. If I'm playing Hecarim and we've warded right here, and I'm playing Hecarim, and then Hecarim's got Ghost and Phase Rush, and you push too close, it doesn't matter whether or not you spot him on the ward necessarily. If you're too close, he might be able to kill you. This is why I say warding is a shot concept. So in order to get good value out of your wards, you've got to think about that line of scrimmage, right? And where the jungler is likely to come from. Let me reset my wards here just for the purposes of demo. So, generally speaking, in top lane, we would want some sort of pink ward if we're pushing. These spots are really good. And then maybe a tri-brush ward. Now, what you can do to adjust the different scenarios in top lane is you can just ward deeper. If you're worried about a Hecarim gank, you can ward deeper. Just bear in mind that if the enemy team has a blasting plant and we don't have this information here, it's going to get us in a lot of trouble. But a deeper ward for somebody like Hecarim will give us enough time. As soon as we see Hecarim moving up this way, we can start backing down immediately and try to get out of it. Or maybe, maybe you want to just get a ward like right here. That's not a really good example. Hold on. Or you want to get a ward right here. So you can spot Gromp, you can spot Blue, and then you can respond if the jungler starts walking up. But it depends on the line of scrimmage. So here's another example. If the lane is equalized, all right, and it's right in the middle, it doesn't really matter as much that we get deeper vision, because if the wave is kept equal and we're just passively farming, we don't really need that much information. We just need to know if somebody's sneaking their way towards us, right? Just do this so that you guys can see. You don't really need like tons of information.
An enemy has been slain.
Because we don't need this information here or too deep, because even if a jungle gank shows up, we're so close to our tower that we're fine. So you have to kind of take into account what your opponent's capable of doing to set up a gank and where the jungler is. If you're worried about specific styles of junglers, Evelynn, wards down here could, well, actually we're on blue side here. Wards in the golems, wards in the red or in the chickens are good versus champion like Evelynn if we can get there. Because basically being able to see these champions farm is how we know where they're at. But again, it totally depends on the line of scrimmage. Now let me ask you a question about line of scrimmage. Would we, and remember, line of scrimmage is literally just the flow of the game. Like, we can't get across this line because we got minions, we've got champions behind that, so we can't just run into the enemy in jungle and ward, because if we try to go into the enemy jungle here and ward, what happens? All that happens is the lane pushes forward like so, and now by the time that we get back to lane, we miss all of this, all the CS. And not to mention, if we get caught in the jungle, they just follow us and kill us, right? So it depends on the line of scrimmage. That's the best way that I could sum up this concept and get people to wrap their head around it. All right, then that's just starting with top lane. So as a rule with top lane, again, to summarize, standard wards here are pretty good. And then if you're worried about someone like maybe and we're playing from blue side, I have to keep remembering that. If you're worried about longer ganks, just get deeper wards, just slightly deeper wards. And if you're afraid of champions like full clearing and gank you something that's like a strong gank like a Hecarim, if you need to catch them out doing their thing, I mean, you could always just do something like this if you think they're going to take a predictable route. But this is why warding is so dynamic. Is because no matter what you do, you're gonna be missing information somewhere. So in this situation, if you ward for Hecarim here, you're gonna be missing information somewhere else, right? You're gonna be missing information on River. You're gonna be missing information on Tribrush. That's why the idea of warding depends on the jungler that you're facing. And also, this is why I say warding is a bit of a team sport. Because if your mid lane is warding something like this, well, then you can just safely ward Tri, right? And you can feel really good about yourself. Or if your mid lane wards something like this, and you ward something like this, you get pretty good info. All you have to do is be wary of the angle that comes from Golem's, because you'll know if anybody gets into River, especially if the mid wave is under control too, right? Because remember, the line of scrimmage applies to both top and mid. And remember, these dummies are just representing minions. That's all I'm doing here. So, that's pretty much top lane. What about jungling? All right, what changes with jungling? Well, the jungle wards is pretty simple. All you're really trying to do with jungle on level 1 is I do a lot of these invocations, but at level 1, so let's pretend that we're level 1. At level 1, we walk out right away, and at level 1, we just try to get a ward down early. In the first minute or less, just come out. Here's a safe ward. You just come right out, drop a ward here to discourage and invade, and then you just reset and swap into sweeper, right? That's all you have to do. And now as a jungler, you're good to go. And now you can do your clear, and then you can sweep for vision in these spots. Because see, now that you've sat through this, you understand where top laners are thinking about warding, where they're likely to ward and have vision. If you put a ward down here early, you discourage invades, you also help your team out. There's other wards that you can place as well as jungle level 1. At level 1, you could stroll out, and if they allow you, you could place it at red. If they allow you, you could place it at chicken sometimes, if you need that information. But you only get one ward at level 1. So just remember that you're going to have to back and swap to sweeper as a jungler. Okay? Generally speaking, with jungling, all you have to do, keep in mind, is that let's pretend that Yuumi is a jungler. Let's say that Yuumi 3 kills to the top, right? And Yuumi wants to get, let's say we've got a top lane situation like this. And Yuumi wants to gank. When would you sweep? Well, if you're going to gank top, and you haven't seen the top laner leave, you should be sweeping right about now and inching your way forward. At that point, you'd find a ward to clear and to get rid of. Or you could just walk right through and try to gank anyways before the enemy team reacts. The idea here is that with jungling, it becomes more about sweeping than necessarily warding. Because sweeper is such an integral part of what you do, you have to understand where people can ward and you can plan accordingly. Now, this also applies to dodging wards. I think everybody should know all the rules and what they're thinking about. So when it comes to dodging wards, if you know somebody's warded here, and you know showing up just doesn't really result in anything, you can always divert course and try to do something like this and wrap around. Although, to be fair, it's going to waste time off your jungle clearing. Or if you're playing something like Nidalee, the greatest, you could hop a wall and then wrap around this way if you're quick about it. And then you could even sweep as you turn this corner. Just so you know, and I always tell people, you just got to make sure that the enemy team doesn't know. Because the minute that you show up on enemy team vision, so say there is a ward here, the minute that you show up, what's your enemy likely to do? If the enemy here is likely to immediately just dart off, right? As soon as you show up, they're hugging the tower, chilling, because they know that you're coming. You basically told on yourself. So that's why it's important to sweep, because a lot of this game is just, what is my opponent going to do with their information, right? So that is pretty much jungling in a nutshell. You just kind of farm, and then when you're about to gank, as soon as you leave the path, it's feels very easy. If I'm ganking mid, I would just start sweeping now. You just walk right up, maybe path behind the gank in mid, and then try to get in an angle that we know our opponent doesn't know where we are. These little tricks are massive in a game like League, right? Just being able to encroach on somebody, and that way when they move up a little too close, you come in hard for the gank and make it happen. And then the same with bot lane. If you're pathing down to bot lane, it's the same logic. You just walk right in. And make sure that the gank is if it is rewarded, then keep encroaching until you find it. So you find a ward here with your creeper. Okay. Or alternatively, if there's no ward, same thing here. Just path right in and go for the gank. Now, what about mid laners? I know, I told you guys this was a doozy, but everybody's got to sit through friggin' warding class. All right, I don't want to hear any complaints about how boring warding is. It should be boring. It's basically, it's the part of the game where it requires you to think a little bit about what you're doing and where should vision go. So mid's got a lot of options for warding. Traditionally, what I recommend is if you're worried about early ganks, say you're facing like a Jarvan, a Shaco or something, and we're playing on the blue side, all you got to do is at like 120. So you come out here and about 120, I know the timer doesn't restart. All you would really have to do is just go ahead and drop a ward like that. What this ward's going to achieve is it's going to tell you if you're getting cheesed. Because Jarvan or somebody will path straight to you. Or Nunu would do this, right? A Nunu would actually do something like this and then try to gank this mid. If your opponent is a full clear type of champion, and you know which side they start on, and you know they're going to full clear, well, it's real easy. You can anticipate them being top side on Scuttle around 315. Clear from top to bottom and they're full clear. They're going to be a bottom at 315. So what you should be doing is you should be trying to ward for that, right? If you have Cryo and you know that they're going to be going for Scuttle and you have an opportunity to ward, well, what you could do then is you could simply just drop an early ward somewhere like this when you're allowed to. This will basically contain the enemy jungler and allow you to push with this line of scrimmage like I was talking about earlier. As we know, our opposing jungler has started on top side. And we know, if you look at you know that we're safe from this side of the map. And all we really have to do is top like this with our vision here, and we're never getting caught by this game. Not unless top lane goes MIA or something. And again, if you're facing a jungler that might 3-camp, say you're facing an Elise. Well, an Elise, we've got to get a ward down in around 2 minutes or so, right? 2 minutes so that if the 3-camp comes to mid, we know about it. No, same thing. If you suspect that you're about to get ganked by an Elise that does one of these routes, blue, gromp, red, same thing. We just put a ward right here at around 2 minutes or so. And what that's going to do, around 2 minutes or so, that's going to protect us. And even in a situation where the wave is equal, or the line of scrimmage is equal, we know that if Elise was able to get to the side of us, and we don't see her coming, we can get in a lot of trouble for not having that vision there. All right? And another little tip that I should specify is the ward has to go actually on the edge. Fun little fact about these wards I'll show you. It's actually really important. Fun little fact about these wards. Someone can sneak by you. It's another fun trick about vision that you guys should recognize is that it's very important. I mark on people all the time about how they walk. You can see that a person can theoretically get all the way. See that? You wouldn't even know because of that vision. So what you do is you make sure if you ward this brush, do something like that instead. And this way, if someone comes along, there's nowhere that they can get to where you're not going to see them unless they hop the walls. Right? So, just something to think about in mid lane. The other ward that you can do is you can occasionally ward chickens early. That's not a bad ward. You got some sort of poke mage with a lot of prio. The poke mage I've seen them take chickens from me all the time in higher elo. That's annoying when I'm jungling. Just be aware of that. Also, if you're the jungler and you think they have to do that, kite your camps over here. It's a really good little tip. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, all these wards that I'm covering today in this section are all about early game wards. Ladies and fly. If you know the other jungler is full clearing from top down,
Wow.
he's going to be towards bottom at 315, which means your ass should have a ward out here at about 245 at some point. If you've got prio and you're pushed deep and you're just chilling and you're not warding up here, there's something terribly wrong. After 315, if you don't see a jungler here, right, and you've warded for this, actually, hold on a second. By all accounts, if you can get a deeper ward, it should be something like that, technically. So that what happens is you see Scuttle, and sometimes you could catch junglers being weird, and if it makes sense, they're going cheeky this way. Sometimes but you need to remember that both of you have a ward. So if one of you wards here at 315, the other person should be thinking about this angle. This is a very dangerous angle that if we don't have vision on it, after 315, after the first scuttle, if mid's not guarding this, is not warding this, if no one's warding this, this can get you in a lot of trouble. Now, obviously, both of you don't have time to ward up here. It's your mid's job. But if your mid doesn't get that vision down, and you see your junglers over here on top side doing some goofy shit, well, that means that we should probably ward here. So for the purposes of blocking the counter jungling that goes on in this gank that comes along, right? Now, those are early game wards, and obviously they are applicable, for all roles, because it's warding, and we have to do a good job with our early game wards. This is just the early game, right? There is so much more to this, but for now, what I want in this, and I think what we'll do is probably make this into a two-part. So the first attempt at warding, all I really want is I want you guys to be actively placing your wards for the first. I want our wards for the first 5 minutes of the game. All right, we're gonna get warding with my coach, but for these I really want, for the boot camp, I really want people understanding warding better. It's a concept that definitely requires some thought. So, if we're on blue side or red side, if we're on top, I want you looking for an excuse to ward for a gank and what you think the gank will probably look like and try to counter it with your ward. Don't just ward to ward. Actively stop and think, is it a Hecarim? Shit, if he gets to me, I'm screwed. So I should probably, like I said, ward a little deeper. So for a Hecarim, I'd ward something like this, so I can respond a little bit faster. Hecarim, bam, 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 just like in the jungle videos, and he's probably not gonna want to walk around this ward, right? The other option is to ward, like I said, in river, standard river wards, or the tri-brush, right? Mid, standard wards we talked about. The ramp ward is good, but remember, not only like this, more to the edge, it's a brush, right? More to the edge, it's a brush. If you're struggling to get to the pixel brush fast enough, the ward is plenty here. Junglers, all I want you doing is dropping a ward, swapping a sweeper. Bottom, same thing. We just need wards down early to guard for those ganks. Right? 1-star means that you're not actively looking for wards. A 2-star means that if we're warding, and then we a 3-star means that you actively try to find a spot to ward, but you guess wrong, and the jungler just gets around the ward, or you don't really get any value. Like, you don't see any value out of that ward. You don't spot anything, you don't learn anything from it. You're warding, you spot the jungler out, and you do it with a reasonable amount of accuracy, right? A 5 would be you're warding, you're getting deep wards that are very targeted towards the jungler that you're facing, and you're able to transition that information into something aggressive. So we're not just gonna ward and just sit there once we spot the play, right? Instead, we're gonna ward, and then once we see it, we're gonna try to set up a play. Maybe encourage our jungler to invade. Maybe if we're a jungler and we spot vision, and we sweep it, maybe encourage a fight, like encourage a gank by pinging on the way as we're about to gank. I want you to use that vision as an excuse to use your deck. Once I see that you're looking let's not just chill out and lane, relax, right? The big thing here, the big takeaways that I want to get to you guys is that warding is key to difficult process. The more that you're good at it, the more that you can give your team a massive advantage. And again, this is just early game wards. When we come back, we have another concept to cover how to deal with clearing out objectives, to get vision down like in enemy jungle territory or deep in enemy territory, so we can use that vision to take it and actually do that. But for now, I think it's great. So just go in the game and start practicing getting that initial ward down and getting that initial vision down, and do it in a way that's proactive and thinking about the opponents that you're facing and where they're likely to gank you from. In general, you guys focus on the jungle's gank paths for the beginning of this. All right? Whew. Oh, what a doozy. Good luck.
destroyed.
Let's go.
You see this just
Oh man. Seriously? Come on. Ooh.
Once a Vandal Gunner, always a Vandal Gunner.
Wait a minute. Samira. That is Samira top or. It's Garen top, Twitch jungle. Oh shit. Oh, so fam. What is going on over here? And then I should show you the app I'm using to get better. He's gonna try hard. He's not.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
it's worth shooting once, it's probably worth shooting a lot.
An ally has been slain.
I might just drop in.
An ally has been slain.
A Vandal Gunner never turns cold, unless it's to come.
An enemy has been slain.
Is this blast proof? Bring on the bad guys. Let's get this party started. Winners don't duck. Where's the action? I dare you to dare me. On lookout.
An ally has been slain.
Why is Twitch always around when I don't want to be?
Wanna see the fireworks? Worth shooting a lot.
An ally has been slain.
That helmet.
An ally has been slain.
Hey, baby. Hold on.
Falling back.
Yeah, I'll come in a little bit. Just, love you, baby.
Walking tall.
An enemy has been slain.
about to type. He's coming out too, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Orders are more like guidelines, really.
Is unstoppable. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Let me get in there. Winners don't duck.
An enemy has been An ally has been slain.
Let's see if it makes it to the first explosion. You don't hurt him if you don't hit him.
The heck? Went for the ult first.
Your turret has been destroyed. Has been slain.
Fireworks?
I don't know about that.
I might just drop in.
Enemy killing spree.
Oh no.
Surprise! Ugh.
I hate Twitch, I hate Twitch, I hate Twitch, I hate Twitch, I hate Twitch. T-building.
Bring on the bad guys. yet, Adair.
I deserve that. I deserve it.
Destroyed. An enemy has been slain. I'll be right up. Your turret has been destroyed.
Sometimes outnumbered, never outgunned. Wanna see the fun?
An enemy has been slain. Shut down. Triple kill.
If it's worth shooting once, it's probably worth shooting a lot.
Has destroyed a turret.
This time.
Shut down.
Shortcut. Blast off.
An ally has been slain.
Orders are more like guidelines, really. dare me. Back to base. You don't hurt him in
Shut down.
See the fireworks? Just passing through. On back.
Killing spree.
Where's the heck?
Double kill. Shut down.
Walking tall. data point in the right direction.
Down. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Orders are more like guidelines, really. Time to get out.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Let me get in there. shooting once,
An
it's
ally
probably
has
worth
been
shooting
slain. Enemy double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Who wears a helmet?
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Back to base.